Good morning, dear students. This is Mrs. Sonam Bhardwaj, your economics teacher. I hope you all are fine and safe at your places. Dear students, as you all know, economics is the new subject been added to social science this year. Okay, so in the previous classes you have been studying about history, geography, political science, but this year you would be studying about economics also. So before beginning, I would first like to introduce economics to you people. Okay, so in the previous classes, in history you have been studying about past experiences. In geography you have been studying about earth, the environment. Okay, in political science you have been studying about the government. Okay, likewise in economics you would be studying about income, wealth, money, or the generation of income. Okay, so what do we call economics as? It is the study of how the society uses its limited resources, or we can say that it is a social science that deals with the production and distribution and consumption of goods and services. What are goods and services? Goods and services are what we produce or what we use. Okay, so basically what is economics? It is the generation of income, or how the people uses its resources to earn their livelihood. Okay, this is what we would be studying in economics. So dear students, let us start with the chapter number 1, which is Story of Village Palampur. In this chapter, we would be studying that how the people of village Palampur are generating their income. Okay, that how the society or how the people of the village Palampur are using their limited resources. Okay, or how they are producing the goods and services. Okay, this is what we are going to study in this chapter. So dear students, let us start with the chapter number 1. In the village Palampur, farming is the main activity being carried out in the village Palampur, which means that most of the people living into the village Palampur does farming, but several non-farm activities are also carried out on a limited scale. Alright, like dairy farming, small scale manufacturing, shopkeeping, transportation. Alright, so they are the non farm activities being occurred in the village Palampur. So dear students, let's study about the village Palampur. Okay, so the village Palampur is well connected with neighboring villages and towns, namely Raiganj and Shahpur. Raiganj is a village near to the village Palampur, and Shahpur is a town near to the village Palampur, and these three are well connected with each other. That means that Palampur has good, well connected roads. Okay, and when there are good roads connecting the villages and towns near to the village Palampur, one can see that many kind of transports can also be available on these roads. Okay, so many kinds of transports are visible on the road, starting from tongas, bullock carts, okay, the old vehicles, okay, which are the manual vehicles, okay, to the motor vehicles like jeeps, tractors, etc. Alright, so many of such transportation can also be seen on the village Palampur or on the roads of village Palampur. Now talking about the population of Palampur, Palampur has 450 families. Okay, and these 450 families are belonging to different castes. Okay, as you can see, there are 80 upper caste families. Okay, out of 450, 80 families are the upper caste families, and they owns major land. Okay, major portion of the land is been taken by the 80 upper caste families, and their houses were made of bricks and cement. Okay, now the rest, the another the one third of the population, which is one third of the 450 families, are the 150 families, and they are Dalits, and they live in one corner of the village, and their houses are made of mud and straw. Okay, they were been given the corner of the village to live in. That means they do not possess the major portion of the land. They only have one corner of the village, and their houses were made of mud and straw. And the remaining families, they belong to the small or the medium farmers. So talking about these Dalits, they are landless. Okay, they do not possess any land, and even for the living they have been given one corner of the village. Okay, so as we know that Palampur has the big houses also, which were being owned by the upper caste families, and Palampur also has the small houses or the huts or the jhopris where Dalits live. Okay, whose houses were being made of mud and straw. But we can say in the village Palampur, most of the houses have electric connections. Okay, so we can say that Palampur is a developed village where electricity also prevails in most of the houses. Not only in the houses, but electricity powers the tube wells also in the fields in order to irrigate more and more area of land, as we know that farming is the main activity in the village Palampur. But we know non-farm activity is also there. So in the various small businesses also electricity has been very helpful. Okay, and Palampur has a good education system also. Okay, Palampur has two primary school, Palampur has one school. Talking about health, so Palampur has primary health care system center which has been run by the government, and one private dispensary. Okay, so one can say that Palampur is a fairly well developed village. Okay, so dear students, we conclude that Palampur is a well developed village. How? It has a well connected roads with the neighboring villages and towns. Okay, and manual and motor vehicles can also be seen on the roads. So we can say that the Palampur has a good transport system also. Okay, there are the houses, the major houses are also there. Okay, the big houses which are being made of bricks and cements, and the smaller houses are also there which are being made of mud and straw. Electricity is also there in most of the houses, whereas electricity is also being used in the tube wells also for the irrigation purposes and for the small businesses. Education system is also there in the village Palampur. It has two primary schools and one high school, and health facilities are being also taken off in the village Palampur, as it has the primary center run by the government, primary healthcare center, and it has the private dispensary also. So by all these discussions one can conclude that Palampur is a well developed village where both the farming and the non farming activities have been occurred. Okay.